The last time you saw Brett Favre on a football field on a Sunday, he had a career-high 6 touchdown passes. Can he do that against the Bengals? We'll find out. Jason Horowitz, CBS Sports' Charley Casserly, glad to be with you on the NFL previews presented by Comcast. But, Charlie, I want to start with the Bengals because although they may be 0-5, the last couple of weeks, they haven't looked like an 0-5 team. What are you seeing out of Cincinnati?
Same thing, improvement. The biggest thing is the passing attack is getting better. Now, here was the problem. Carson Palmer was healthy in preseason, but his wide receivers were not healthy in preseason. So he had no continuity in his passing game. Last 2 games he's played, and that's over 3 games because he did not play against the Cleveland Browns, which is a shame because he was in the game. They probably would have won it. You can see the stark difference there. So especially last week in the second half, I think he was 16 out of 22. So the passing game is coming together, and that's what they are. They're an explosive passing team that can score against anybody in the league when that thing's clicking, and it's starting to click.
But, Charlie, they are 0-5, and although they are getting better week in, week out, they still haven't put together enough for a win. At what point do you say, or do the players start to not give up, but that continued improvement isn't there week in, week out if they continue not to win?
Well, it's hard to say when that can happen. That's a challenge for the coaching staff to try to keep everything together and to keep being more positive than negative. But you do have some personalities there. Chad Johnson, I mean, we know he's a volatile guy who can say anything. So what you've got to do is you've got to try to almost spend 80% of your time with him and 20% with the rest of the team to keep him in check. Because Carson Palmer, he'll get frustrated at some point in this too. But they're not there yet. As long as they keep playing well, they got a chance to get over the hump. But the question is excellent because at some point they will hit that.
Yeah, especially if they don't continue to win. But when you look at their offense this week against the Jets defense, which has been vulnerable in the secondary, is this a week where you say, hey, they can outscore the team across the field from them?
Well, certainly they can score points in this game. The Jets are coming off a bye, and you can see the Jets' pass defense, 265 yards, not very good there. So the real key for the Jets is, they've had 2 weeks to study Cincinnati. I'm sure they're going to put some wrinkles in against Cincinnati that are going to cause Cincinnati at least to think and possibly slow them down during the course of this game. So that's really the key, is Cincinnati adjusting to whatever wrinkles the Bengals put in the secondary.
All right, as for the Jets, we started this off by talking about Brett Favre. He had those career-high 6 touchdown passes against Arizona. Against the Bengals, we talked about the improvement on offense. They've improved on defense as well. What are you expecting Brett Favre to do against his Bengals defense?
Well, I think he ought to be pretty effective because, to me, what the Jets had to do was get to the bye, get a chance to get 4 games under your belt, and then see where you are offensively. See what works. Every week Brett Favre's out there. Remember, this guy was not in training camp, really. This guy was not there during the preseason. You can see the 12 touchdowns are very impressive, 70% completion. This is impressive. What Eric Mangini said to me on the eve of the regular season, I said, where will we see Brett Favre improve or make plays? He said, the instinctive part of it. The guy just has a knack when he's out there of seeing things, and that's what I see. This guy's phenomenal at field vision. So now he's had a chance to grasp the offense. They can put more things in. They've had some time off here. I look for the offense to take another step going forward.
You've had a chance to watch the Jets 4 games. Obviously, there's still 12 to go. Are they a 500 team? Are they worse than that, or are they better than that?
I think they're better than that. I think one of the things the Jets were faced was they added a lot of players during the offseason. And what did they do? They changed their quarterback during training camp. That's hard to do. So I think the first month of the season, if they could come out 500, which they did, you get the bye, then I think you could see a team now that's playing a 12-game schedule that ought to win more than they lose over that 12 games, and that certainly should put them over 500.
And it could put them in the playoffs. We'll find out if Brett Favre can do that. But as for this game, let's see what the computer thinks and finds out. 10,000 tests, 10,000 results, the AccuScore prediction, and the Jets, as you'd expect, because they're 2-2, they got Brett Favre, they got bigger numbers, 72% of the time come out victorious. Charlie, do the Bengals get their first win?
No, I don't think so. But I think if the Jets don't take it seriously, this is certainly what we could call a trap game, because we talked about Cincinnati's pass offense. There's no question I think they can move the ball up and down the field. A guy to watch in this game is Chris Henry. See with a game under his belt what impact he has. Defensively, Cincinnati has really played under the radar. They played fairly solid. I just like the Jets coming off the bye. I think they will make enough adjustments to slow Cincinnati down in the passing game, and I think the Brett Favre offense will continue to grow.
It's the Bengals' second trip to the Meadowlands this season. Remember, a couple weeks ago they went to the Giants, took them to overtime, we'll see if they can play a good game like that again this weekend. It's a 1 o'clock kick on CBS, and for more on this one or any other here in Week 6, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. Watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. For Charley Casserly, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.